All right, this is Catholic Girls by Frank Zappa from Joe's Garage. This has a lot of cool odd time stuff. This has some cool funk chords, cool melodies all through it. So we're gonna start out with this 9/16 intro. What we do is we're gonna bend the 4th fret of the G string. We're gonna go. So we're gonna bend it, and then 2 bends. And I'll use my other finger to get this little 2 on the bottom string down here, but you could pick that as well if you wanna reach it down there. So that's in 9/16. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you were to break it all down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we're gonna do that 6 times, and then we're gonna do one more bend on that 4, which switches to 4/4 at that time. So let me just count you in with the 3/4. We're gonna do that riff 6 times, and then one more bend. So 3, 4. And then you got da 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 bum, and then we're into the chorus. We go. Okay, so that's F sharp major, down to the B, and then kind of a bass, and then the chord. So bum 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 bum, and then we have an upstroke. This is a D sharp minor, C sharp major. So it's 3, 4. Okay, so 3 times of that, and then we're gonna go. Okay, so we got B, 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 and then jump to an E bass there before the E major chord. So 3 E's to that C sharp major. So this whole chorus again, 3, 4. Now here's the second time through that chorus, gonna have a different ending, 3, 4. Okay, so A to B that time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we get into this funk chord, this 7/9 chord. So it's 4 with the middle finger on the A string, 3, and then this is that one where you got to get that ring finger to get those bottom ones. So 4, 3, 4, 4, 4. So what we do here is after we had. So it's basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, a couple of bars for each one of these. So 3, 4. Now we're gonna move to the 9th fret bass with the same chord, and then the 6th fret, and then the 11th fret bass, 7th fret, 12th fret. Okay, so it just goes chromatic down from that 11. Okay, and then we're back into our main chorus there, 3, 4. Now we're gonna have the first ending this time, so we're gonna go. Okay, and then we're into the solo. This is the 9/16 to 7/8 thing. So it goes 9/16 twice, and then a measure of 7/8. It does that 3 times, and then it has 2 measures of 11/16. So that sounds crazy, I know, but it's not that hard when you just look at this little guitar riff. So we're gonna have. So that's a 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we're gonna do that thing twice. So now we're gonna go only 3 bends. We're gonna do that twice. Okay, so see how it goes? So it's 4 bends, and then the little 2, and you do that twice, and then it's 3 bends in little 2, and you do that twice, and then you cycle that whole thing 3 times. So it's 3, 4. Okay, that's a whole pattern that goes 3 times. So I'll try to go through the whole thing. Here we go. 3, 4. Okay, so that's the 11/16. It goes. So they're kind of slower, right? So now, as soon as you do that third one, you got to start right back on the next set of it. And then you're back to the top. Okay, and that's the whole crazy solo section in that odd time. So we also can look at the rhythm behind that. Okay, so it's bum 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 bum. See that? You got those strange timings there. We got. And these are like bum 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 da bum 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 da bum 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 bum. See that? So 3 of those. Then we're gonna go. So that's B to E. We got bum bum ba da da bum bum da da da. Then we're right back. So it'd be. Now the second time we're going to go. Okay, A to B, same rhythm with that. Bum, bum, da da da, bum, bum, da da da. Okay, then we're back to the. So that was 4th fret bass note up to the 9th. Then we're going to go 6 to 11 and 7 to 12. So let's try that. 3, 4. Back into your chorus. Okay, now we have a couple melodies going on here. In this odd time signature solo bit, we have a melody that goes. Okay, then there's an outro melody we're gonna look at too. So this is 14th fret of the 2nd string. Hit that twice, then little 12, and then 12 on the 2nd string to 11 on the G. So. Then we're going to go 11, 11, 11, 13, 13, 13. 13's on the G, 11's on the B. So. And then it would be those chords going on. So the first chords would be like. And then we have the A to B. Back into your verse stuff. Okay, now there's a melody, there's an outro melody on our chorus. It's gonna be. It's gonna be. Okay, so it starts with 2 9s here in the first string. And then the repeating part is going to start right after those 2. So it's going to go. So that was 9 6 9 7 9, and then 7 9 6. So it's. And then you go. So 8 on the G to 7s on the B. And then 8 6, and then 7 7 7 8 6. And then 1 little 9 before we get started again. Okay, so it's. And just today I realized that this is the melody from Jewish Princess, if you listen to it. Okay, so very cool stuff in here. Catholic Girls, like I said, we got the. Da 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 da. And. Okay, your second ending was. You got the verse. All the way. Okay, let me get into the solo. We got the. Do that a bunch of times then. And then it all repeats. And then we're into a chorus again. We got the. Okay, and then we have the solo rhythm. All that kind of stuff. And the other ending is. Back into a verse and a chorus and the outro melody. Okay, that's our first part, first verse. So we got A power chord, 5 7 7, down to G, F, and then F to G, A, G, and just one F, and then F to G, one strum each, and then we're going to E to the F, G to the E, and then we're going A to the D on an upbeat there, the end of the measure. Okay, the second time through, 3 and 4 and. This time we're gonna go. So we're going E, F, F, stop, and then we got. We got 3 E's at the end there, and 4 and. Okay, so we got. We had 8 A's to a D there, and then we're gonna have a cool little fill. Okay, so that goes 10 to 11 on the G to little 10. And then 12s, use these two fingers. 13s, 14s. Then we get into a little interlude riff. We got. Okay, so that's 12. And then 8, 7, 8 to 10 on the second string to 8, 7, 8 again. So. Okay, and there's kind of some harmony notes going on in there, so there's more to it than that. But that's kind of the basic kind of lead line. So we're going to do that 8 times. So let's try that. 3 and 4 and. Okay, then we have a new riff. Okay, so we had the 8 times, then we go second string, 5th fret. So 5 twice. To 7 to 9, and then start on the 6, 6, 8, and 10. And then start on the 8, 8, 10, and 12. And then trill here on the little E string, 11 and 12. Now there's another riff that happens. It's gonna go. So that's F, and then A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. So 1, 0, 2, 3, 0, 2, 3, 0, 2. And it's gonna go back 2, 0, 3, 2, 0, 3, 2, 0. And then it's bum, 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 bum. And when we go to, that's gonna be bum, 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 E, F, bum, 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 bum. So the E is holding on that. Okay, so that's the, and then is the, and then is the, and this part goes with. So once again, that interlude bit was. Okay, and then we're going to come out with. And then we won't do anything there. That's the maracas part. And then we're going to go. So that's a triplet into that last one. So it's. And then we have E, F, 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 F. So 3 E's and 4 F's. E, F, 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 F. And then we got an A to the D. And then I, D to C. Then we're getting to the outro. We got A, B, and C power chords. Okay, so 4 times of that. A, B, C. And then do like G bar chord. Make sure you hear that 4 up there. It's kind of the leading tone. Then we're going to go to F. We want to hear that 2. And then we're going to go to a G where we hear the open G. So that the melody kind of went within that chord sequence. So. And then we got. Okay, so that was 7, 8, 7, 5. To the 8 on the second. Back to the A note there to an A power chord. Okay, so a little review. We got. Okay, then the next verse is 3 and 4 and. And then we wait. Then we got that. And as that's holding out, he'll kind of come down here to this E flat, kind of bend it. Kind of weird to make another extra lower kind of little fill there. Then we got the next verse, maracas. Here goes the triplet, then E to F, and then A to D, upbeat D, and then D, D, C, I, I, I. Then we got the A, B, C power chords, walk up into the outro. G to F, open G, and then got that 7, 8, 7, 5 to 8 to 5. Got an A power chord. All right, this is going to be Stick It Out by Frank Zappa from Joe's Garage. We're going to have. Okay, that's how we're going to get started. So we got da dum dum da da dum, 4 to 2 on the E, da dum dum, back to that. And we're gonna do that twice. So 2, 3, 4, da dum dum, and again, and then we can add the harmony to that. So we're gonna do the 2 and the 1 on the D string there, 2 on the A, 1 on the D. Dum dum. We'll hit that one just twice. We got the 1 and then 4, 2 on the A, so. And you can hit that last one, da dum dum, if you want, so. Okay, then the verse starts. This is in German. It goes. Okay, so it's 4 to 4. That's on the G string to the D. 4, 6, 6, 6, 6, 7, 6, 4 to 6 to 4, so it's. So 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 6, 7. So that's just the same the second time. Then we're going to go power chords, 7, 6 to 5. And then the next melody. So 6, 4, 4, 4, 6, 6, 4, 4, 6. Three times of this one. 2 8s on the D string, and then 8, 9, 8, 9, 6. Okay, so let's see what we got so far. We got. Each time those low chords come in, but it's kind of hard to do both at the same time, you know, two different parts kind of going on. So we got. 3 times. 8s. Hammer, hammer, 6. And then we got a new part. We got. So that's 3 5s on the A string to big 7. And then we go 7, 7, 9. That's G to D strings there. And then 2 5s. back to the high part. Then we do it all again. So 3 5s. So this new part's gonna go 5 5 7 on the big one. Then A string 5 7 9, and then we got B power chord up here 7 9 9 big strings. And you can kind of slide those down if you want to. So we got. Do it twice. Okay, so this part's really cool. So 7 7, and then D string 9 7 9 7 9, 5 on the A, 7 5 7. So and then we have 7 to 9 on the A to 7 on the D. 3 times of that, and it ends with this quick one. 9 to 7, the big 10 there. So we got. Back to the beginning, okay? So that was 4 times of that riff. Okay, then we're back to the beginning. Okay, now this verse is in English, so it's slightly different with the phrasing. It's gonna go. Then we have that same other stuff. You could also do octaves on this if you want. So I've got the big 5 with the 7 on the D. I like to use the pinky for those. Going into the 7 and 9, and mute that string in between. Mute all the other strings, you know, when you do these. So that was the 5th string and the 3rd string, 5 and 7. 7 and 9, 9 and 11. So we got B power chord. Back to that thing. See that first one's kind of slow? And then they get real fast at the end. So 2, 3, and. Okay, so that's Stick It Out, Frank Zappa, Joe's Garage. Got some crazy lyrics on that one. Now here's one more thing from Joe's Garage I'm going to give you. This is the Outside Now riff, so it's going to go. Okay, so real cool. It's like 11/8. So it's gonna have the same shape. So it's big string, middle finger on the 6, and then we're gonna have 5th fret on the 3rd string and 6th fret on the 2nd string. We go straight down the strings. And then we're going to come up 2 frets and come back from the 2nd string down. Okay, so really cool. And you can play this underneath the whole song and listening to Zappa's solo and everything, just playing right along in that 11/8 thing. It's not too terribly difficult, a lot of fun. So this is a song about a wet t-shirt contest, but it has this great musical interlude that probably changes time signatures 10 or 11 times. Okay, so we have 12, 13, and 15 on the 2nd. And then 13, 15, 13, 12, 14, 12. That's our first measure of 7/8. Okay? And then, so 14, 15, another hammer-on pull-off there. And those are quicker notes than the others. So 14, 15 on the G, hammer-on pull-off, 15, 14, 12, 15. 12, 14, 15 on the G, little 13, 12, 14 on the G, do a slide from 15 to 17 to 14 there. So this whole first part is, this is 3 measures of 7/8. So we got. Okay, then we're in 5/8. We're gonna have 2 measures holding this in 5/8. Then we're gonna go 16, 15, 13 on the G, and then 14, 13, 12 on the D. So to 13 on the A. Then we're going to go 11, 10 on the D, and then 10, 9, 8, 7 to big 9. So that's 11, 10 on the D. Then we're going to the A, 10, 9, 8, 7, 9. And then we're going to go 10, 7, 8 on the D, to 10 on the G, 10, 11 on the D, the 13 here. So let's look at it all again. We got. Okay, then we're going to come up here 14, 15 on the D, to 17, 16 on the G, then 14 on the B, 15 on the G, 12 over here in the D, 13 on the D, and then 10, 8, 10, 2 10s and 2 11s. So it's like, let's go from that 14, 15. Okay, so we get into a. So we got 12, 13, 10, 8, 10, 10, 11, 11, 10, 10, 9, 9, 10 to 9 on the 2nd string, and then 8, 7, 6, 7, 10, 8, then 9, 7, 8 of D strings, and then 9, 8, 10, so all together. Okay, so we got all the way to that part. We got another 10 here. We've got so 10 and then 8 on the D. And then so this is 11, 10 on the G, open G. And then 9 on the D, 11 on the B, 10 to 10 D to B strings there too. There we go. So 9 on the D, 8, 7 on the A, big 10, 6 on the A, 7, 8 on the E. And this one's in 5/8, this next one. We got 6, 6 on the D, 8, 8 on the B, and then so that one's 6, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 6. And then we got da-da-da-dum. And that's 15s on the G string. That's a triplet with one extra one. And then we're going to do the same thing. Triplet with an extra note, but it's going to go 15, 14, 13, 16. And then we have a triplet, but the first one's missing. And then we have a series of 5 of these 16s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you can do the 15 going down on the G. So dump, dump, da 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 down. If you think about it, it's like down, up, down, up, down, up. So that 15 that ends it should be an upstroke there. So we got. All right, here's a lesson by request on Watermelon and Easter Hay by Frank Zappa. It's going to have a 9-note phrase that's going to repeat underneath the whole kind of lead melody thing that comes in. So we're going to start out in the A chord. We're going to go 2nd string, 3rd, and 4th, and then this 4th fret of the big E string, open E, and then you're going into a B major chord. And it's 9 notes. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a measure of 4, and then we have a measure of 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do that again. So the first thing I suggest you do is play that little phrase with the album and just do it all the way through and just be you're jamming with Frank, just playing that one 9-note thing. Okay, so let's do that together one time. We'll move on. 3, 4. Okay, then we get into the melody. We're going to have the 14th fret of the B string. We're going to bend it up, hold it, and then kind of release it after a while. So that was a little 12 on the 2nd string, and then we got 14, 13 on the G. Does this a few times with variations and stuff. It'll do a little 13, 14 back to the 12 here. Sometimes it'll bend twice. Now this 3rd one's going to wait a little bit and go. So let's take a look at that one we got. Let's do the 3rd bend. Then we're going to go 13 to 11 slide. And back. So that was 9th fret of the G to 11th fret of the D. So we got. And go quick to that 9, so that's a quick da-da-da-dum. We got a 9 on the G and 11, 9, 11 on the D. couple ways to do this. So one of them is got 9, 11, slide the 11 to 13 to that 12 right there. So we got so you can have that little 9, and this is the E major pentatonic scale. So little 9 and then 12, 9, bending the 11, pulling off to the 9, doing that a couple times, and then we start over with the melody. Sometimes you have that little pull off. And then after that third riff, we got the other one. You could also kind of go. So that was kind of a. Or you could be like. Okay, then we're going to get into the next little melody part we got. So this kind of starts in the A major pentatonic and moves into part of the E major pentatonic. That kind of thing, some of those notes. So it kind of shift back and forth. So once again, we got. So 2 and then 4 to 6, back to 4 on the G. And then we're going to take the first finger on that one, quick down and back. And then we got 6, 4, and 6 on the D. And then we're going to have this. Okay, so it's kind of like how the other one plays out, but in a lower octave. So once again, we got. So we got 3 times of that. And then sliding this one down and back. 2, 4, 4. You got the quick 2 and then da 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 dum, and then 2, 4. Slide to 6. Hit that 4. We got the little E down here. 5 on the B. 6, 4 and then G, and then. So we got the 4th fret there on the D. A couple times bend up and dip and back. So one more time on this one, we got. Let's look at the first riff a little bit more, because it does go back to that afterwards. So we would do that 3 times, and then we're going to do this other riff. Now let's go to the lower one. And we would do that 3 times, and then we got the follow-up riff. Okay, and like I say, I have another video where you can see how those 2 parts are like timed with each other, you know, the 9-note phrase versus these melodies on top and everything. And of course, listen to the original song by Frank Zappa. Try to play along with the 9-note phrases behind the whole song, and have a lot of fun with that. Okay, that's from Joe's Garage. It's kind of the climax of the Joe's Garage triple album. And okay, so let's move on to how he gets into soloing a little bit. So one thing he does, he slides into the 13th fret like he's in the B major pentatonic scale. So that creates kind of a cool like Lydian effect with that A major chord. And he'll do like a step and a half bend on this one sometimes. You'll hear other things like he'll be using this pentatonic major shape. So you got to just listen to Frank and kind of try to cop some of his emotional runs and how he times out his spaces and how he kind of slides positions back and forth and how he bends and all that. So at one point he'll start using this little A note.